Hi, it's me, Kamila. Today I'm going to do my video presentation on in the data governance. So my topic is data governance and how it affects in the cloud industry. So I choose to do the literature review on this topic. So first I want to introduce about what is the basic idea of the data governance. So data governance means it helps to make the data and the database more secure and reliable and easy to access in this modernization industry. So I choose to be decide how it's affecting the cloud industry by implementing data governance on the cloud industry. So when I decide to do the research on this subject, so I found out like it's become more vulnerable and reliable to ensure all the protection and the make database more sustainable to do. But now it's like there is a strong belief that about cloud industry changes to the traditional industry from thinking before and now it's to complete different thinking about the how we secure our data space more secure and better and give them more transparent on the data system. So build the rules and regulations and accountable also reduce the cost and more effectiveness when we introduce the data governance on the cloud service. So while I'm doing this review, I found findings. So these are my findings. So key dimensions of the cloud data governance. So data governance functions, data governance structure, organization, technical, environmental, and the measuring and mentoring tools are the key dimensions for the cloud data governance. So these are the affecting factors how we improve our database while we introducing the cloud and sorry data governance in the cloud. So and I saw these pictures as well to make a more brief description about the how it's related and it's here in the middle is the data governance and the policy process standards and the all like look it's environment, technical organizations and the cloud deployment model. So these are the correlated factors and the dimensions for the cloud. So these are the findings that I found when I do the data governance into the cloud industry. So brief description. So I try to be describe more about these factors so it's more easy to understand about the data governance, how it's correlated to the cloud industry in this modernization world. So numerous businesses give more priority than the other cloud database governance. It's not only this loose management plan and lack of communication. So and the technical factors, cloud data governance is more complex and deployment and the service distributions and the lack of the leadership and the less knowledge on the cloud data governance. So these are the few knowledgeable things we can do while we're doing the we can know about the data governance and the functional and the cultural factors also affect welcome to the day data governance. So these are my brief description about the organization, technical and functional structure. So this. So here I try to be describe a little bit more about the advantage of the cloud data governance. So it improves the data quality and its cloud industry became more secure by implementing the data governance on this industry and regular complexity gonna be more great and increase the revenue and easy accessible. So all over it helps so much when you introduce the data governance on the cloud industry. So the main basic idea of introducing the data governance on the cloud is like it helps how we can save our database and they give the more quality to the stakeholder and the other companies. So it's basically very good and it's very useful to introduce the data governance. So and it's very accessible. It's not like you can you can easily accessible from the anywhere. So it's a very good idea to know about the how cloud industry can be more improvement after implementing the data governance. So, however, there is also disadvantage of the cloud data governance. So I try to be figure out the disadvantages of the. So first of all is accessibility and cost savings and the disaster recovery stability. So these are the few points for the how it's gonna be disadvantage while we're doing because it's not like a very big disadvantage, but we when we try to do the review, I find out like maybe this can be the disadvantages when we're doing the uh, review. So accessibility. So it's basically sometimes files in the cloud can be accessed from anywhere. So it's better to be introduced the data governance. So it helps how we can, make them less mistakes while we doing the accessing the files to one server to another server, and cost saving. So it saves so much cost and everything. But sometimes people think that data governance is a little bit cost than the other things, but because it gives the more good quality and it improves the quality of the database. So it's sometimes people think that it's maybe costly or like that. So and the disaster recovery. Sometimes all businesses will be invest in an emergency backup. Sometimes we don't have a backup and then we might be lost our data. So we need to be have a backup. That's why we introducing the data governance on the cloud industry. And it's basically it's a summary to see all over. So it's provide the basic acknowledgement of the data governance and cooperative with the cloud computing services. However, after all those studies, I can know that it's very it's a correlated factor about the cloud industry and the data governance. So it's a very necessary to keep data secure and more accessible. So it's come along with the several barriers, even though its critical factors are related, unexpectable simplicity simplifies the access and the barriers are so even though it's very hard to understand how we correlated these two factors, but I try to be as much as I can write about the data services and the cloud, how they related. So basically, I finding the advantage, disadvantage, and how we can improve our data services. So it's over overview summary of this one. And so here conceptually framework of the cloud data governance supports to understand and know more about the cloud and that industry. So the framework valid stakeholders, position, and the distinct content with the relevant investor. So this is my summary. So basically, I want to say that data governance and the cloud industry is the two correlated factors why we implementing the our data governance on the cloud. It becomes more. It gives the more good quality database and it helps to secure more. Thank you.